Welcome, everybody. I'm Jeff Lem, President of Portable Intelligence. It's my pleasure today to welcome everybody to our customer town hall. And please feel free to use the chat box and add any questions, etc., as we go through the slides. So for me, as usual, a lot of information, but feel free to add any questions. You'll also be able to ask questions at the end as well. Next. So what we're going to be doing today is introducing the speakers, like myself and whoever other folks are talking today. Give a big update, a bit of an update on PI itself, our product update, talk about our roadmap, future direction of the company, highlight a specific customer who had a very successful deployment, talk about some new resources that are available to you as a customer, urge you to attend some upcoming events that we're going to be participating in. Allow for a bit of QA if there's any questions, and then finally do a draw prize. So again, please use the chat box to enter any questions or comments you may have, and that may even influence if you win a draw prize. The draw prizes are going to be 3 copies of my book, as well as 2 $100 Amazon gift certificates. So please use the chat box if you have any questions. Next slide. Our speakers today are myself. I've got Mohan. I'm going to be joined by Mohan, our Director of Software Development, who many of you are familiar with, and Kurt Renault, who's a bit new. He's been with us over a year now. He's our Customer Success Manager. Next slide. A little disclaimer that anything we're sharing here is subject to change. It's please treat it more for informational purposes only. You know, we try to make things happen, but as you know, things do come up like customer requests, etc. Development, release, and timing of any products, features, or functionality remain at the discretion of PI and is subject to change. Next. So we'll start off with a quick survey. How important is inventory and warehouse management to your business today? A, important. B, very important. And C, super critical. And we'll just throw up that survey there. Just please answer it, and then we'll show where everybody's head space is at currently. Great. So do we have results yet, Mark? Good. Excellent. So that's great. That's great to see that fully a third of the people see it as super critical. Half are very important, and 12% see as important. Thank you for participating. Next slide, Kurt. So let's go on to our updates. First and foremost, we have about 150 visual customers worldwide with 25% growth and over 2,000 users. We opened up, we actually created a R&D facility at the Venture Lab located here in the city of Markham, which is self-housed in the IBM Canadian headquarters. We've been there since June of 2021. We have participated or are participating in the AI Accelerate program, which is sponsored by a Canadian government program. We're going to be adding AI to all our software as we go. And the first major recipient of that is going to be our smart warehouse, which is the next generation of warehouse management systems. It's using technologies like indoor positioning, AI, and computer vision technologies. And that's just a few of the recognitions and awards that we got from the past year. Next slide. Some new faces. Happy to announce that Matt Morgan, formerly of Synergy, 20+ years experience in the visual community, is coming aboard as our COO and General Manager. Talk a bit about him on the next slide. Mohan Mohendran, who left us for a little bit, took a bit of a sabbatical, and is now back as a Director of Software Development. He's going to be looking after products like our new products, particularly in TM Plus and R Plus for Business Central. Kurt Renault, our customer success manager. Kurt's been with us about a year now, and he came from one of our customers, Give and Go, where he was the warehouse manager. Kurt is also in his spare time, which doesn't leave him a lot of spare time, is a double-A hockey coach. So he's very busy and has a lot of fun, and we love hearing about his stories, coaching some very talented kids. Then Nethra Nagiri, who's a newly minted PMP. Nethra is our first recipient of an award that we created at the Schulich School of Business for supply chain studies. Nethra has a master's degree from that program. He came to visit. We came to congratulate him on the award. We liked him so much that we asked him to stay. And so here he is as our project coordinator, and he's doing an outstanding job. Next is Ray Wong, who's our tech lead. He's looking after all the smart warehouse technology, and he's working closely with Mohan in that regard. Ray's a true techie. He used to do a video blog where he would actually test all new releases of, well, a lot of new releases of hardware from HP and Samsung. So it's a pretty cool thing. And whenever we have a hardware problem, Ray's usually quick to fix it. And last, but certainly not least, is DJ, who is our local marketing whiz. He's largely responsible for rebranding, putting in proper colors, and making sure that we stay consistent with all branding, giving our websites a major facelift, and has kept me focused on social media, which, as you know, it's tough to do these days. So next slide. So about Matt, he's going to be put in charge of the visual team. So you're going to be hearing and seeing a lot from Matt in the coming weeks and months. He's going to be responsible for R+ for the visual. With his 20 years experience, he's going to be able to come up with a lot of ideas for our product, as well as open a lot of doors and get us more involved in the community. He's also going to be running the Visual Manufacturing Pennsylvania group, where he's actually heading down currently to Oklahoma to do a presentation at the user group in Oklahoma. And he's also going to be running CAP, which is our customer advisory panel. I'm going to be talking about that in the next slide. So we're really excited to have Matt aboard, and actually feeling pretty fortunate right now to have him here. So next slide. About the customer advisory panel, we've got Pyrotech on there, Selfmedic, Shelter Logic, CMP Group, and along with Vanguard. We also have Pam Erickson, formerly our Truxedo. Many of you know Pam. She's semi-retired, but she's agreed to serve on our panel. Given her vast experience in both visual and R+, we think she's going to be a great asset for us. The goals of the panel are pretty straightforward: provide input on our roadmap, identify areas for improvement, enhance the customer experience, propose new features and capabilities, identify any trends or opportunities that we're not seeing. The goals meet basically 3 times per year, and the meetings will all be online. And if you're interested, please reach out to Matt, and that's his email below, or just type something up in the chat box too. Next. We've added a number of new customers, along with customers who've purchased modules, etc. I put on some of them, some of the customers who have added new licenses or modules to their system. In total, about a dozen new customers came aboard over the last year. I'm happy to report that a lot of these new customers are also going to be adding very quickly products like TM+. Darkcore themselves, as an example, purchased 2 modules, and then shortly thereafter went with TM+. Along with Omega Tools, which first deployed in Windsor, Ontario, and now they just recently went live in Mexico. So really exciting developments we're seeing here across the board, and really excited to have all these customers come aboard. Next. So I'll now turn this over to Kurt, who's going to go through more or less a short list of some of the bigger enhancements we did in the last year. Kurt.
Thank you, Jeff. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. Just going to go over some just high-level highlights of the enhancements we made in the last year. Obviously, we're supporting Visual 908 and Visual 10 with RF+. Our TM+ labor tracking module used to be separate from RF+, but it is now available within the RF Plus and doesn't require a different license. It's all covered under the same license. The team came up with a new technique of deploying our software. So no longer do users need to clear the cache. It's going to be doing it automatically on its own. So it's great. So something that was always a pain. I remember when I was an end user or helped deploy this at my last business. No more do they have to worry about that. We came up with an email alert for admin users to identify visual passwords that are going to expire. So goal here is to try to prevent any downtime for end users, because we know how important it is to be fully functional all the time. So just trying to ensure that people know when passwords are going to expire, and make sure that things can be fixed accordingly. RF Plus is now supporting Intrastat, so that is for our European customers only, not relevant for North America, but in Europe they need some information to be able to move materials around different countries of the EU. So happy to say that, again, we're supporting these pieces of information now in RF Plus, and our European customers are now happy. Lots going on with LPNs, a lot of different enhancements and developments. LPNs are now supported for PO delivery line schedules, something that wasn't available in the past. We're now doing work order LPN picking, where we're providing trace and location lists for an easy lookup for end users. So no more do they have to look up ahead of time where these materials are. As they go through their work order picking process, they can easily, once they select the line, they will be able to look up where it is and what traces are available in each. We've introduced a new feature for LPN picking, which we can reopen LPNs. So if there was a mistake made, or if we needed to add more materials to a closed LPN, we can easily go into the screen, re-put that LPN. RF Plus will ask the user if they want to reopen it, and we can reopen it to add more or adjust or take off. For LPN labels, we're now supporting single, mixed, and master LPNs. So these paths or different label types can be defined in our RF Plus control center, and therefore, if a pallet is mixed, that we can print the mix specific label. If it's a single item, that we can print the single item template. So I think that's great. RF Plus is now in the control center for customer orders, displaying an estimated number of cases and pallets. So there is some work involved to get this to work. We need to ensure that the part maintenance, that the case quantity and pallet quantity are updated accordingly. But as soon as a customer order is scheduled, we can look and see what are the expected number of pallets and cases that customer order is going to take. And then as the picker starts picking, RF Plus will update the actual pallet quantity and cases as they're going through their picking process. So great to be able to see where we're at and how many pallets are currently picked, and maybe how many need to go. So there's a new enhancement for the proof of delivery with signature capture. So it's a different module that we introduced for one of our customers, but essentially it's for delivery men or women that are delivering boxes to houses or businesses, and then they need to capture signatures at that point of delivery and be able to update the system. So and the last feature I want to highlight is just the pack list by truck ID. So this is a new feature that will allow users to be able to build multiple pack lists at the same time. So in the past, we always had to build one pack list, ship that pack list before we could then reopen that or open up that CO ID again and build another one. Now we can build two pack lists in parallel and ship them one right after the other. So I think a great way to be a little more efficient if you know that there are multiple trucks that are going to be needed for a particular CO. Something I want to highlight is just with the support of Visual 10 we're no longer going to be supporting our Telnet version of RF Plus. So something to keep in mind, if you are still on our Telnet version, if you move to Visual 10, it will no longer be supported. Okay, so over the year, 75 plus upgrades, in updates or enhancements in RF Plus, and looking to continue to, build out the roadmap as we go along. A couple other, just to show you a few screenshots of some of the other ones. There's only a few here. Work order receiving by part ID. Initially, we were only able to scan the work order ID and go through our work order receiving process. Now it is a configurable option. We can scan the part ID, and RF Plus will prompt and show the user all the available released work orders in the system. So user can select which one they want to receive it to and do the receiving process. Capture employee ID. So another configurable option for work order receiving and our labor ticket module within RF Plus. We now can capture the employee ID that are making these transactions. So this is great for if you have a terminal that multiple users are using, and that they don't need to log out and log back into RF Plus every single time. Now they can scan their employee ID, and we're going to capture that information in our tables and have it available for any history or whatever it may need. And lastly, I wanted to highlight this trace batch transfers. So I think this is a great new feature that was actually just released this month. It came from an end user. So we got a customer that I'll explain a little more detail in future slides, but the end user was complaining about how they had to go to Visual and transfer each of their trace IDs one by one, and it took forever. They said the word was like 10 minutes to do, some of these transactions. That's how many traces that this company uses and needed to transfer. So now all they have to do is scan the trace ID, and we have a counter, and we're going to keep track of all the traces that have been scanned, the quantities, and then once they're done, they can commit they can select this down arrow, select the location that they want to transfer it from, and commit the transaction, and RF Plus will write all those inventory transactions to Visual all in one go. So upgrades and request change process, just wanted to review this. Not all of our customers have gone through this process yet. So just, either way, reach out to me. I'm your guy to help support you through these processes. So for upgrades, we're going to probably book a call, and we got to look at what visual you're on, RF Plus version. We'll have to look at your server, your environments, your resources on that server, labeling software, things like that. From there, we'll schedule time to do the deployment. After review, provide recommendations, then we'll schedule time to do your deployment. Just keep in mind that when you are on our support and maintenance contract, that you do get 1 day free of professional services per calendar year for your maintenance and support for any sort of upgrade assistance. So typically, most of our customers can have their upgrade done with that 1 day. Multiple days may be required if you have, customizations in terms of, special label, templates that you've created, things like that could add some extra time. But again, typically we can do it within that 1 day. All right. For change requests, similar, we'll book a call, gather requirements. From that, we can estimate the effort and provide a quote. Once that quote's approved, we'll walk through, or we'll create a functional spec. Once that functional spec, we'll share that with you. You review it. Have any questions? We'll do some back and forth. Make sure that the functional spec meets your requirements, meets your needs. From there, we'll write the development. We'll do the development on that functional spec. Deploy it in your test environment. We'll train you on it. We'll ask you to do all the testing to make sure everything is functioning the way that, again, you outlined in our functional spec, and then we'll deploy it into the live environment. any questions with these, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, and I'm happy to go over the process with you or help you with any sort of upgrade or CRs in the future. Over to you, Jeff.
Thanks, Kurt. And it's always great to hear, customers, feedback, especially on that last change you identified around the trace entry. It's a big time saver, and one of the missions of PI, of course, is to make the lives of our customers better. And I think that little enhancement certainly hit the nail on the head there. So TED is our task engine distributor. It's part of our smart warehouse platform, and basically it's the first of its kind of product. And we'll likely see this in future other WMS type products. Basically, what we're doing is we're taking indoor tracking, in this case, of forklifts as they move across the facility. So basically, as a forklift moves from, you see in the top left there, there will be a forklift moving from zone A through to zone B. We track the location of that forklift, also the distance traveled. And by doing that, we're able to assign tasks to the driver based on their location. So as the driver moves across the facility, there's no point asking for certain materials if the driver or the forklift or the material handler is at the other end of the facility. So we will selectively identify who is available and send the task to that appropriate person. So they'll get a screen like this where they'll be asked to do a particular replenishment task. And so, what we're also able to do is actually provide all sorts of statistics around, how long that task took, how long it took to accept it, the distance traveled, etc. Our first deployment is at a large tier 1 automotive parts manufacturer for Honda, located just north of the city here. We've also got plants in Ohio and Alabama. And what we're able to do is basically allow them to track the number of tasks they're doing each day, ensure that the line doesn't run out of materials, and ensure that finished goods get actually put away or shipped out the door. It's a bit addictive, because since we deployed it in early February, they've come back steadily and asked for a number of enhancements. So this is a product that we're going to be pushing out, making available to all our users as well. It's just a question as to how you want to track your forklift drivers and what benefits you can get from having their visibility. I was interesting. I was on the phone the other day talking to a company that does a lot of work for GM, and GM hires this company to just go around the facility on specific routes, picking up cardboard and garbage. It's pretty surprising, but these facilities are over 1 million square feet, and what they want to do is just track garbage pickups. So that's something that would be certainly within the realm of possibility for this technology. But for yourselves, simple task management as well as tracking how many tasks you're doing. And it generally works once you get over 10 drivers. Okay, next slide. So I'm going to turn this over to Mohan, who's going to take it on a bit of a roadmap review for this year and next.
Thanks, Jeff. So hi, everyone. So I'm going to go through the roadmap 2023 and 2024. So let's go through the 2023 first. In Q2, so we released the new TM Plus with Visual 10 and Visual Project support. Now is available with RO Plus software, is part of the RO Plus. Also, our latest RO Plus supports for Windows Server 22 and SQL 22. So it's ready to install in the latest platform. And Q3, we released 2 labeling features. One is shipping label by ship to ID. So that means one customer, you can have multiple templates for one customer by ship to ID. That's a new features. Also, we are adding another label features. You can have multiple templates for a part. Also, you can have multiple labels. Actually, it's not multiple, it's still multiple, it's up to 3 labels. You can print 3 labels for one part. That's the new features we are adding. Also, RO Plus audit trail features for last transactions activities. For example, so any labor transactions or any inventory transaction, we update in the audit log in case if they restore the database, we can track what's the latest transactions be processed in our system. The next one is a date range filter for RO Plus Control Center KPIs. So you can specify the date range and download the data from the KPIs. The another feature is expiry date in all trace lookup screens. So we have a trace lookup screen in all 4 modules. So right now we are adding all expiry date in all screens. The last one for Q3 is TM Plus upgrade. So there are 3 features we are adding. The first one is the employee or team mapping to shop resource and filter work order jobs by mapped resources. So the user can log in and they're going to see only the resource only the work orders linked to the resource they are working on it. The next one is transfer open jobs from one shift to another shift. So what does that mean? So when one shift end their shift, so they can transfer the job to the upcoming shift. So also we are supporting elapsed time update, so for direct and indirect jobs. The Q4 2023, basically we are going to support inventory count created for multiple warehouse. Right now, all the count it should be created for one warehouse. Now we are supporting for multiple warehouses. Also, we are going to do a little bit technology upgrade, Angular 15 development support and PWA compatibility. Next. So what is PWA? So PWA is a progressive web application. So you may have seen this app on your devices. One example, Starbucks is a PWA app, and Uber is a PWA app. Recently, for another product, we introduced the PWA. So we are going to add it for the RO Plus for visual manufacturing in Q4 as well. So what's the advantage of using this one? It's built using the web technologies, and it can be installed and run on devices and one code base. So it's still is a web-based application, one code base. It runs in all platform, iOS, Android, or any other platform. So the benefits of the PWA, the app icons can be added to the home screen. Also, it can continue working when the device is offline. It supports push notifications, perform periodic updates. What does that mean? When we update the latest version on the server, the handheld devices will get the latest and update itself. You don't need to do any separate actions for that one. It can access hardware features, something like camera, GPS, and other things. And then HTTPS endpoint. It actually provides a data safety. I'm not sure is it my microphone or someone else's microphone.
Stuart, can you mute, please? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. It can use advanced web API like web Bluetooth, USB payment, authentications. So many advanced web API we can use in PWA applications. Next. So 2024 roadmaps, we haven't added much. After our customer advisory panel, we are going to add more. This roadmap will be revised also after the customer advisory panel meetings in June. The Q1, we plan to release most TM Plus features. We are going to support for multi-language. RO Plus is already supports multi-language. We are going to add that for the TM Plus also. And also we introduced new label printing for TM Plus function. Also, we are adding a material availability for the next operation. So what does that mean? The user is able to see what raw material or web goods needed for the next operations. And Q2, so we are going to try to release a new RO Plus control center with enhanced workflow and new designs. Also web tracking on the handheld side. Next. So in the control center, so what are the features we are going to have? It pretty much we are going to have the same function, but it's going to be easy functional workflow and more user context. So the screen you are looking right now is a mock-up screen. So it's not the screen you are going to actually see it. You are going to see more, elegant screen here. This is just the mock-up. So what are the other features we are going to have here? Customizable columns. So the end user, they can decide the sequence and they can hide, make it visible, the columns, and save that. Also is customizable filtering and sorting options. Also, we provide some default template, mostly use default templates so they can choose and use that one. They don't need to customize. And multiple overlapping grids to accommodate larger view. Currently, you may have noticed that in a wave picking, so you have a wave grid in the right side and there are two grids on the left side. It's pretty much, many grids take the space. Instead of using all grids in one screen, so we have some pop-ups grids. So when they click on the header record, it can pop up the detail and the detail can pop up more details. Also, we are going to allow a custom layout. So all these settings you can save as a layout and pin it and use it. Also, we give some compact options to maximize the grid data area. For example, if you have some area, you have all the filtering options, you can just shrink that options and get more data view. So these are the main features we are going to introduce in our Plus Control Center. Also, we are going to do a little bit technology upgrade. We are moving our development platform to Angular 15 and Bootstrap 5 and .NET Core latest version. So thank you. So that's all from my side. Passing it to.
Great, thank you, Mohan. Yeah, pretty exciting stuff. A lot of it's kind of Chinese to me. No joke intended, of course, but no joke intended, of course. But I know we're going to have a lot of fun with the advisory panel as we sort through all the different options and capabilities we're going to gain with this new technology stack. I mean, I'm pretty excited about push notifications and the types of things that we can send down to the user on almost on an ad hoc basis. So really exciting stuff. Just want to go over just the exactly, what's available in RF Plus these days, because I know we've thrown a lot of stuff at you. I just want to kind of summarize it and give you a bit of a bird's eye view as to everything you have access to. Starting at the top, you've got RF Plus with TM Plus, inbound, outbound, production, and inventory. I know, Greg, you posed a question around TM Plus and how's it enabled and what version is available in. Oh, sorry, you asked the question around the caching, but someone else asked around the availability of TM Plus. We also have proof of delivery available, as Kurt mentioned earlier. It's around really parcel, box delivery, wherever you're shipping to the client out of visual. We will now create a file that you can put on a device. So we'll actually put it on a device that you can capture a signature, even take a picture when you drop off the item, and then push it back in RF Plus to show if delivery is made along with any details and if there are any exceptions, and then you would then make those changes in visual itself. Labeling, as most of you already are well aware of, with Nice Label, Bartender, and Loftware. And as you may have heard, that Loftware is after their purchase of Nice Label, they are discontinuing their main core product. They're going to be moving everything over to Nice Label. Infor itself, we're continuing to invest and support Infor Visual. We're at version 10 currently, and when 11 comes out later this year, we'll be working towards it. We support both SQL Server and Oracle. Don't know what the stance on Oracle is going forward from Infor, but certainly we'll continue to support it as long as Infor does. On the Starship side of things, which is our rate shopping and shipping third-party partner software, it does parcel, it does LTL, commercial invoices, custom docs, and shipping. To basically, without any scanning by the user, we mount a series of cameras that can be used to track as you ship product out the door of your dock doors or as you move product from one warehouse to the next. Voice picking, which you actually showed at the last Visual Focus event, where you can actually talk into a mic or a headset to allow you to basically use data entry through your voice. Indoor tracking using location-based services, RFID, and SuperScan as well. SuperScan, we're going to be, you've seen it, some you've already seen it. It's basically going to allow you to use one barcode to say, do a complete receipt of a PO or PO lines. We're also going to be deploying SuperScan to support a back-of-hand scanner that we're going to be working with to support hands-free picking as well. You're going to be, think of a scanner on the back of your hand. You'll scan the barcode and then basically form your pick from that perspective. And should you ever decide to leave visual, hopefully never, we have a couple of versions of R+. R+ SA, which stands for standalone, allow you to allow us to basically connect to any third-party ERP. And then we have a specific integration for R+ for Business Central. As you may know, that product used to be, it's actually based on Microsoft Dynamics Navision, and they've since moved everything over to Business Central. So those are the activities we've been working on outside of the visual side itself, and that it's going to allow us to basically continue to be relevant and offer you guys great value going forward. Next. And I think that's it for me. So over to you, Kurt, on the customer highlight.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. So today we're highlighting CompoSecure. They manufacture a product that most of us use on almost a daily basis. They manufacture credit cards. Very interesting business, and they were founded in 2000. You know, some of their customers are government security, luxury resorts, casinos, and they are a trace facility. They use a combination of trace and non-trace, and they deployed RF+ in 2022 and are reaping some benefits already with that deployment. So, you know, why did CompoSecure look at the inventory management system? I'm sure some of this is relevant to maybe why your business purchased RF+ and went through the implementation. So, you know, not only the external customers, but the internal people, you know, want a better tracking of traceability, materials, where they are, when they're being moved, and having a system updated real time. So, you know, eliminating waste, waiting, overproduction, overprocessing, you know, space constraints are all reasons why CompoSecure went with an inventory management system. So some of the benefits that they're getting from the implementation. So, you know, one of the big things is being able to have the system updated real time. So a lot of manual processes in the past at CompoSecure are now replaced with real-time transactions. So no longer are, you know, manual writing things down, having to walk to a computer and updating the system. And it could be, you know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 3 hours from when the actual transfer occurred. So I know that that's something that they're happy with. Waiting for materials, another common scenario we see in a lot of businesses, where, you know, we have operators looking for materials. You know, they're walking up and down the aisle, maybe having to go to a desktop computer to check where it's showing in the system. They get there, it's not there. So being able to do the inventory lookups on the device real time has been a real benefit and a time saver for CompoSecure. So, and then over processing. So they're using the print label for worker receiving to help with their identification of their finished good pallets. So by having that label on that pallet, they're able to know that the team has already done their inspection and that the work order has been received into the system. So great to see, again, all the benefits that they're reaping from the implementation. The one big thing that I wanted to highlight is that CompoSecure is a big user of our control center. So, you know, speaking to Stuart at CompoSecure, he gave me some good insights on how they're using their RF+ control center to to benefit the business and make their operations a little more efficient. So, when during our conversation, he was saying how in the past he used to have to go into visual and check each individual, either CO or PO and be able to find on the detail one at a time. Now he just goes right to our Plus Control Center, is able to filter on some of these columns that we have, I'm showing on the screen, and be able to get more information much faster by maybe desired ship date or receive date. They're able to see how many POs are coming in for that day and be able to inform the team, and keep everybody working and moving together as a unit. The other big thing that he highlighted to me is that their planning capacity. So by simply just going to the control center, they're able to see what locations are filled and what are empty. And by able to pull in that information really fast, he can, share that with the rest of his team. And then they know how much product or how much material they have space for to hold in their facility. It helps with inventory turns and not having to bring in anything that, is going to cause, space constraints or overflow into aisles that just ends up being a big waste of time. So great to see it, in our roadmap coming up for 2024 that, we're even enhancing our control center even more. And I can see some real benefit to our customers and then being able to get more efficiency and value out of using our control center. So quickly, I want to talk about PI University. Last year, we did upgrade our website. We've been redoing it. Thanks to DJ, he's put a lot of hard work into redoing our pages and our website. PI University can be found there. PI University is free to all our customers. We did deploy a new customer portal last year, which required new credentials and passwords for all our customers. So guys, if you have any issues accessing PI University or our support portal, please don't hesitate to reach out to me and I'll happily help you get set up. PI University is great for being able to see some functionality in R Plus and just to learn on your own at your own pace what's available. We are going to be adding more content to PI University, so that's soon to come. I'm excited to share that we will be starting a monthly webinar series. So our first topic is going to be interbranch transfers. This webinar series is for the customer. It's supposed to help. They're going to be short, quick, and more informative on functionality of how RF Plus works, different features that you may or may not know is available. So looking forward to get that going. I will be hosting these webinars and hoping to see all you guys there. Quick survey based on today's updates. Will you be checking out PI University and or the webinar series? B, exploring using more features in RF Plus. C, looking to add more licenses. Or D, life is exciting enough, no plans for 2023. We'll give you a few minutes to fill out our survey and we'll see the results.
Yeah, I'll also jump in here and add that the control center license, there is no control center license cost. So it's available to any users. And it's just a question of accessing the that control center to view those details. So it's great to hear of a customer making good use of it. It's because we do put in a lot of effort and we are going to, as you mentioned, Kurt, put a lot of work into improving it.
Awesome. Mark, do we have any results yet? There we go. So just almost half is going to be checking out PA University and the webinar series. Great. It's awesome to hear.
You'll be a busy guy, Kurt.
Yeah. Yeah, looking forward to it. Awesome. Back over to you, Jeff.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, just some upcoming events, and then we'll get to the draw prizes and Q&A. Go ahead, Kurt. So we've got the visual user group happening. It's actually happening tomorrow. It's in Oklahoma. It's going to be attended by both Matt and John Adams. They'll be presenting there. We do have another visual group session in New England that we're going to be presenting at. We also have a webinar with Synergy on June the 15th. We're going to be showing how we solve inventory woes with barcoding. And then we have our Canadian user group session in July. It's actually July the 11th, I believe. And then we'll have a first customer advisory panel meeting on June the 7th. And coming up, we're going to have our visual focus trade show event. It will sell out pretty quickly. They're saying that ticket sales are actually faster than the previous event in Nashville. Last year, there was about, I think, 500 people attended. It was every event was packed, so they moved to a larger venue for this year, which is at the Lowe's Resort in Orlando. Really nice resort. And basically, it's important that you sign up ASAP. Another thing they changed this year is that you are responsible for booking your own hotel. In prior years, hotel was included in the fee. So now they've taken it out. So I think it's dropped down by about, I think $600. But you do need to book your own hotel room, which makes it even more important to book soon. And we'll have a little table there along with the other exhibitors at the show. So hopefully we'll see you there. Last year, I think about 25 of our customers showed up at the event. It was great to see everybody. Next. So draw prizes. DJ, do you have the winners and the people who are going to be receiving our books and certs?
So the three winners of Jeff's books are Kevin McDaniel of Spin Rate, Jack Halverson of Gallery, and Greg Film of Maker Group. And the two winners of the $100 Amazon gift cards are Miguel Bedillo of Gecko and Chris Gibson of Food Pack.
Okay.
Congratulations to our winners. I'm going to type in chat to see as well.
Thank you. And we'll get those books and certs out to our winners. Thank you again for participating. And we do have one question from Chris. What is required to enable TM Plus control? I think you answered that, right, Mohan? Looks like you did. And there was another question from Greg. Which version of R Plus contains that automatic cache clearing?
Good question. Well, I'll have to take a look and I'll get back to you on what release was that feature introduced. So
okay,
sorry, I don't have that on top of my head, but I can definitely get that back to you.
Great. Okay, so that's all our contact information there. Matt, if you're interested in participating on the customer advisory panel, we have 1 or 2 spots left. We certainly like to get around 6 or 7 companies there participating. John, if you need any more modules or licenses or whatever, I think most of you have his email. And then of course Kurt, who is there to help you with any upgrades, change requests, or even trying to get on to PI University. He can send you your login details, etc. And that's about it for us. Anything from the audience or from Mohan or Kurt?
At this time, you can unmute yourself if you have a question.
Yeah, not for me.
Okay, great. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. As always, feel free to contact either myself directly or Kurt or whoever that we've indicated on the previous slide. And we look forward to working with everybody. And thank you again for all your business, everybody. And we will have a recording made of this, and we'll send out the link to everybody who attended, and including people who weren't able to make it today. Thanks again, and have a great rest of the week.